Hi, thanks for watching. This is a quick look at how Google views and ranks your website in the search results. By knowing how the program works, we can then use it to your advantage to increase the traffic to your site by getting it on the first page, so that way you're the first click and the first call when anybody's looking for your service. We've got your website pulled up here, and it's really easy to navigate. We've got all the drop-down menus with all the sub-pages and information. It's mobile optimized, so this call button does work on a mobile phone. As far as Google is concerned, when it's ranking your website, it's going to use two different factors. The first is the content. So it's going to come in and count all the words on the page. It's generally looking for about a minimum of 1,000 to 1,500 words per page because it assumes that the more information you have, the more of an expert that you are. Now, while it's counting the words, it's also looking for keywords, which would be anything that somebody would type into Google search, which is usually going to be a service that you offer and then a location that you offer it in. The second way that Google ranks your website is what's called the authority of the site, which is basically a popularity contest. The two ways to build authority are through getting what's called a citation, which is any kind of online listing or directory that has your name, address, and phone number. Those are going to be sites like Yelp, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau. The good news about those are they're usually free to be listed in. It just takes some time to find them, register, and then input all your information exactly the same way it's shown in Google. The second way to get authority with Google is what's called a backlink, which is when other websites refer back to yours. It basically acts as an endorsement that Google uses to build trust by others vouching for you. You can basically look at it like a customer review. If you had 1 or 100 or 1,000 reviews, that'll determine what customers think about your business. It's the same thing with Google, except it's using other websites to do so. So to see how this determines where you rank in search results, if we go back to our search here, the first thing that you're going to see pop up is what's called the map pack. Being listed in here is kind of important because statistically speaking, a little bit under half, about 40% of people will just click on one of these top three because it appears at the top of the page. Now, it's also free to be in here. You just need to fill out your Google Business profile. It's inside of the Google Maps app, so you can do it right from a smartphone. When you're doing that, you just need to fill out all the fields, the services you offer, your service areas, even your hours of operation. Then you're going to be collecting reviews, adding geotagged photos of your services in the area, and then also getting as many of those citations, those directories with your name, address, and phone number. You want to have more citations and directories than any of these other three to help increase your rank in here. Underneath that is what we call the organic search results. This is where the authority of the web page or the trust that Google has in your site determines how far up or down you rank. So to demonstrate this, I take your website and I put it into this tool that I pay for, and it basically shows me everything that Google finds when it crawls your site to determine your content and your authority. To explain this, if there was a news article written that said top 10 physical therapists in Rhode Island, and the reader could click on a link inside that article and it would bring them to your website, that would be one backlink from one referring domain. So this right here, unfortunately, is usually the only part that you have to end up paying for. A lot of websites, because they know that having a link will give you authority, they're understanding that that's bringing value to you, so they want some value back to them, and that usually ends up they charge you in order to do that. Just to give you an example, I took the top results in the organic search, and Elite is also inside of the map pack, just to show you what they're doing. So the very top result has 804 websites or domains linking back to them, and the second one has 315. So there's quite a big difference between them, and then also quite a big difference between you. So something like this would be easier to overtake, and then over time you can build up to this point where you would actually be the #1 ranking website. Now, one more thing to note in this area is that it's not just a matter of the quantity, it's the quality of the links. So for instance, it has to be something that's relevant to your business. We couldn't get, say, Pizza Hut linking back to you because Google knows that you're a physical therapist. You're not making pizzas, so that wouldn't add any relevancy to you. Now, if we go look at the keywords, these are all the words and phrases that are being typed into search that are being found on your website. And then you can also see the volume, the number of times per month that they're being searched. So the object here is to do as much research as possible and find the highest volume keywords and make sure that those are being found on your site, so that way when people are searching them, you can come up in the results. So just as an example, if we take, say, dizziness relief, if you were on the first page of Google, not the 54th listing, which is about the 5th or 6th page, like where I found you, 350 people a month are searching for dizziness relief. Those 350 people would see your website, and let's be really conservative here and say only 10% of them actually click and call you. That'd be 35 new calls every month. I don't know what the conversion rate is, but let's be even more conservative and say only half of those people actually book an appointment. So now we're at about 17 new customers every month just off of one keyword. So we try to do that same thing for as many high volume keywords as possible and get those on your site. Now that's also where it comes back to making sure that there's enough content on your site to be able to handle all those keywords. But what I can tell you is that having a blog is a fantastic way to be able to add more keywords, because we can make an entire blog post about one single keyword, and then that'll help you rank for that word every time somebody searches for it. So I hope this information was helpful and it allows you to scale your online presence a little bit. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or would like me to go into any further detail about anything I talked about. Also, we could talk about your goals, and I can do some research to find out exactly what it would take for you to reach those. And I always do love getting feedback as well to find out if this information was useful for you. So please let me know your thoughts. Thank you, and I look forward to speaking with you.